If Halo tournaments are still happening, then competitive Halo is not dying. Just because the competitive community is not as big as it once was, doesn't mean that it's not supported. It doesn't need saving, it needs support. We need hope for Halo. What are the reasons Halo 4 isn't considered competitive? Ordnance drops, armor abilities, tactical packages, and support upgrades. What did Ghost Yami's settings change about any of these things? He took out tactical packages and support upgrades, and then he also changed the ordnance drops to have specific armor abilities instead of weapons. And then he also added standard weapon drops on the map. Is this not an improvement? Of course it is. Sure, everybody still has sprint and that ruins map design a tad, but if sprint was taken out, would the competitive community really be happier? Now, when I say competitive community, I mean the die-hard MLG kids, not everybody who plays Halo 4 multiplayer. I think they would just find another aspect of the settings and complain about that. I don't think Halo 4 is bad for competitive Halo. It's the community whining and complaining that 343 tried to innovate the series, for better or worse, so their multiplayer wasn't copying previous versions of the game. That's hurting the series. Wasn't Reach considered a horrible competitive game? Then why did it, a year after its launch, have an estimated 900,000 unique players in a 24-hour span log in to play it? I think it's because Halo was still on the MLG circuit at that point. It's not the game that's hurting the community, it's the community that's hurting the community. I think the fact that MLG did not support Halo 4 is the reason why Halo 4 failed so miserably. The Halo 4 competitive viewership was declining by the time Halo 4 came out, and the fact that it doesn't have a dedicated spectator mode made it way more expensive for MLG to support it on the circuit. There weren't enough viewers to counteract the cost of MLG producing a Halo 4 tournament. So now comes the argument of other tournament circuits, such as AGL. You might say, well, even though MLG didn't pick up Halo, AGL kept doing Halo tournaments, and it still didn't help. Well, yes, technically this is true, but think about what AGL is. I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but in my opinion, the Arena Gaming League is the second-class B-team tournament circuit to Major League Gaming, and with the recent cancellation of an AGL event, I don't think people will rely on AGL very much anymore. MLG offered more prize money, had a better produced show, and hosted larger events. These attributes attracted more professional gamers, and as a result, brought in a larger following than AGL has. The term MLG Pro carries way more weight in the Halo community than AGL Pro. So when MLG left Halo, people simply stopped being interested in professional esports anymore. Sure, they might have tried to support AGL at least once, but once they saw what it had to offer, they said, well yeah, but it's not MLG. And then they moved on to other games. It's the same, the original is better mindset that drives me crazy. But let's also look at it this way. The fact that AGL kept Halo tournaments going is very important. This circuit kept some, not all obviously, but some of the competitive Halo community around. It's one of the reasons Ghost Yami created the Team Throwdown settings, so that Halo 4 can be considered somewhat competitive enough for a tournament scene. The fact that AGL kept going with Halo tournaments means competitive Halo is still around. Even when AGL canceled their most recent event, expecting to host Halo 3 again, Gandhi stepped in and is hosting his own Halo event. People still care about keeping competitive Halo relevant. Just because there's not as large of a following as there once was, doesn't mean that Halo is dead. As long as there are people to support the competitive scene, Halo will continue to be played, and in my eyes, if people are still playing it, it's not dead. Let's discuss this in the comments down below. Thanks for listening.